Hello everyone, I Assistant Professor Pragati Shetty from Department of Microbiology, KG Sumaya College. In the last online lecture, we have started the study for JE virus, that is the Japanese encephalitis virus. Okay, we have studied till the host range. Who are the host for this viral infection? Now we will study about its transmission. Okay. Now in the starting of this lecture, we have mentioned that it is mosquito borne disease. Now why it is calling as the mosquito borne? Because maximum ways the infection will be spread or the virus will transfer via the mosquitoes. Mosquito will act as the vectors, and in the mosquito, which species is most carries this virus is the Culex mosquitoes, right? And this mosquito has very wide host range. Wide host range means what? It can transfer the virus via the various types of the host, including human, birds, swine, okay, and the other animals, right? The ovi, the eggs of this mosquito will contain the fluid, the very high concentration of the virus, and that eggs can be deposited in the water, in the fish ponds, in the rice paddies, in the ditches. That from there also the virus can get transferred, right? This is the transmission. Okay, now look into the picture. There is the transmission cycle of the Japanese encephalitis virus. Okay, now in the last lecture we have saw pigs will act as the amplifier, right? Amplifier, and mosquito will act as the vectors. Okay, vectors. Now the reintroduction of the infected mosquitoes into the swine. Okay, from there, if the infected mosquito will bite to the pigs, okay, or the swine, then the virus will multiply, amplify in their body, and then again it will transfer into the mosquito, okay, and that mosquito will then be transferred, or then the mosquito will bite the humans or the animals which are the host most commonly, right? And this is how the virus will get entry into the host body. Okay, and this cycle then will continue. Then that mosquito will again bite to the healthy swine and the pigs. They will infect. Okay, then mosquito from there will be the infected mosquito. Infected mosquito will again bind the healthy pig and the swine. Then mosquito will bite to that. Mosquito becomes infected and act as the vector. Remember this, mosquito will act as the vector. Okay, and the pigs and the swine will act as the amplifiers, where the virus will increase its yield in the blood. Okay, and who are the host? The horses are the primarily affected by the virus, and second one is the humans. Okay, this is the transmission. So we can say most commonly, majorly, the transmission via the mosquito. Okay, mosquito borne virus, that is why it is called as the mosquito borne virus. Okay, now we will see the pathogenesis. Now what will become into the pathogenesis? The entry of that virus into the host, and how it is getting localized, right? What is its route? So first, starting with the transfer of the virus from the vector into the host body. Okay, then next will be the virus will multiplied. Okay, then after multiplication, what will happen? Viremia, the presence of viral in the blood. Then the virus is transported to the targeted organ, which is the site of this infection is the brain, via blood, right? That is why it is known as encephalitis virus. As we have discussed in the earlier lecture, what encephalitis means, it is the inflammation of the brain, and therefore the disease can also be called as the brain fever. Okay, first the mosquito will bite to the healthy person, then the virus will enter via that mosquito borne vector. Okay, then the virus will multiply in the blood, producing viremia. Now the virus will travel through the to the brain via blood to the site of their infection, which is the brain. Okay, then virus proliferate into the brain and damage the neuronal tissues, right? Neuronal tissues, thereby elicits the nervous manifestations, and then it will proliferate, the virus will proliferate into the brain and damages the neuronal tissues, right? And thereby elicits the, that means thereby they will induce the features of this neuronal disinfections. Okay, this is the pathogenesis of the JE virus, Japanese encephalitis virus. Okay, now we will study this virus in birds, in animals, and in humans. Okay, starting with the animals. Incubation period in the animals will be 4 to 15 days. Okay, averagely 8 to 10 days. This is the incubation period for the virus in the horse body. Then the subclinical disease is most common in horses. What are subclinical? Which means the disease which resembles any other kind of the infections. The symptoms of the disease will resembles with a type of a different kind of the infection. Okay, see, in case of the rinderpest virus, we have studied that the symptoms for the FMD will resembles like the rinderpest FMDV, and the rinderpest symptoms are, to the some extent it is very similar symptoms, right? So we can call it as the subclinical. Okay, that is why in case of the JE in the animal also the subclinical infections may present. Okay, then in the animals, we have three types, okay, of the clinical features. Now first one is the transitory type syndromes. Okay, these are the syndromic manifestations we can call it, or the very distinct syndromes that are present due to this infection in the horses. All right, first one will be the transitory type syndrome. Now this will include the fever, basically the moderate fever which lasts for 2 to 4 days. Okay, then the impaired locomotion, congestion, jaundice. Okay, and that can recovered with the average 2 to 3 days. All right, this is the transitory type syndrome. Now second one, which is that second syndrome, the lethargic type syndrome. In that there is also increase in the temperature for 41 degrees Celsius. Okay, and these are the variable for febrile period. Okay, now in this the motions will get reduced down. We can say the chewing motions, right? Then the difficulty in swallowing the things, then the paralysis stage can may occurs in this. All right, and these symptoms will include into the lethargic type syndrome. The process will get slowed down. Okay, we can say will get difficult. Okay, then from this stage the horses can be recovered within about the week. Okay, then third one is the hyper excitable type syndrome. Okay, it is the complete opposite for the second one, that is the lethargic syndrome. In this what will happen, the high fever will be there. Okay, the fever, see, you can notice one thing, the fever is common in all of the three syndromic manifestations. Okay, then including the fever there will be the distinct characteristic features. Okay, so now coming to the hyper excitable test syndromes, it will also have the high fever. Okay, 41 degrees Celsius. Then it will show the profuse sweating and the muscle tremor, aimless wandering. As the name says, it is excitable, hyper excitable type syndrome, so there will be the aimless wandering, there will be profuse sweating. Okay, then behavioral changes will be there, such as the aggressiveness. Okay, loss of vision, collapse, coma, and the death can also be occurs in this type of this syndrome. Okay, then it has the 5% mortality rates in the horses. Okay, it can raise up to the 30%, which is a great number. It can affect the health of the horses in the very large extent. Then it has the mortality rates less than 1% to the 1.4%. All right, and the case fatality rate, CFR, in the outbreaks of this infection will be 5 to 15%. Okay, what is outbreak? The infection will be very spreading rapidly. Okay, that is we call it as the outbreak, right? Outbreak disease. So in that cases the case fatality rate, that is the CFR, will be in between 5 to 15%. And in the severe epizootics, that is in the more severe cases of this epizootics, that is the zoonotic diseases, severity will be, or the CFR will be 30 to 40%. Right, This is in the horses. This we have studied in the horses, remember. Okay, in the horses it is the primarily host, right, for this virus. Virus will transfer via vectors, mosquito borne vectors, right. Then the incubation period and this main three syndromic manifestations. Which syndromes? Transitory type, lethargic type, and the hyperexcitable type syndromes. Okay, this can be characterizable in the horses due to this viral infection, right. Now we will see JE in. Okay, before coming to the birds, there will be the lesions that will also develop due to this infection. Okay, gross lesions of CNS which is associated with the JE are in general non-specific. Okay, then histopathological examination of these lesions reveals a non-supportive encephalomyelitis with apparent perivascular cuffing, phagocytic destruction of nerve cell, and the focal gliosis. Accordingly, blood vessels appear dilated with numerous mononuclear cells. So what is happening in these lesions? These lesions are basically non-specific lesions. Okay, now we know the lesions are present in the Rinderpest disease also and in the FMDV also, right. And in this also the lesions are present, and these lesions are non-specific lesions. Okay, in general lesions. Now this general, if the histopathological examination has been done on these lesions and they revealed that it is a non-suppurative, right, non-suppurative encephalomyelitis, inflammation of the brain, encephalomyelitis with apparent perivascular cuffing and the phagocytic destruction in these lesions. There will be the phagocytic destructions of nerve cell and the focal gliosis. Basically it will destroy the neurological cells, right, the nerve cells. Therefore it will show the destruction of the nerve cells and the focal gliosis. Okay, and it is the non-suppurative encephalomyelitis. Okay, then it can also, as the blood vessels appear dilated, blood vessels in it appears dilated, okay, with the numerous mononuclear cells. Alright, this is the lesions in horses. Okay, this part is for horse. Now we will come into the swines. Okay, in the swine, the JE in the swine, the incubation period is not been very accurately established till date. Signs of the disease manifested as early as 3 days. Okay, the viremia and the accompanying fever can appear with the 24 hours of the post inoculation. Okay, after inoculation, then the 24 hours the fever can be present. Along with the fever, viremia will also result in the swines. In swine, most commonly JE manifests as the reproductive disease. Okay, JE will act reproductive systems in the swines and they will cause disease in that, the reproductive disease. Now reproductivity losses 50 to 70% of the population of the swine. If the virus is entering into that swine, then it will cause 50 to 70% reproductive loss in them. Okay, abortion is source, stillbirths, okay, the very early birth, immature birth of their fetus, okay, then mummified fetus usually at term, okay, this can be result due to the reproduction loss. Then reduced number and mortality of the sperm, okay, in the boars. In the male swines there will be the reduced in the number of sperm production, okay, and the motility of the sperms, and that is why it will cause the reproduction diseases. It will affect the reproduction, right, in the birds. Now similarly we have saw the lesions in the horses, right? Now we will see lesions in the swine, okay. Now litters of infected swines contain the stillborn fetus. Some fetus dark in appearance, okay, stillborn, okay, that means the reproductivity is getting affected, right? So the babies, the fetus will not delivered as live, they are stillborn and they are delivered very early age. Immaturely delivery will be there or there will be abortion, all right. Then the evidence of the congenital neurological damage will be happen: hydrocephalus, cerebral hypoplasia, and the spinal hypomyelinogenesis observed in the some litters, okay. These are the types of the symptoms that are observed in the swines. And along with this, these are the cerebral hypoplasia, spinal, these are all related to the CNS, the central nervous system. We know that this virus, the JE virus, will affect it what? Brain. Therefore, this will affect the central and the spinal system, right? And that is why the symptoms will be for that. Now along with this, the subcutaneous edema will be also observed in the swine, okay. Now we will see the laboratory diagnosis, okay. Now this laboratory diagnosis and the treatment is for animals, okay. We are testing now the samples from animals, not men, not humans. For the human, the laboratory diagnosis is a little bit different, that we will also study. Now first we will study about the animals. So first, clinical signs for horses, fever and the CNS disease signs, and the swine, high number of the stillborn piglets will be there, okay. These two are very important clinical signatures, clinical features, okay. Then starting with the diagnosis, laboratory diagnosis, first one will be what? Viral, the specimen collection. Now the specimen can be used: blood specimen, spinal cord fluid, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, and the brain samples, okay. Then we will isolate the virus, okay. Isolate the virus, we can culture, we can grow the virus into the tissue cultures, cell cultures, continue cell culture lines, okay. Then we can use the serological test to determine what? Antibodies. Okay, antibodies titer. Now which test? The neutralization test, HI test, complement fixation test, immunofluorescence test. With the help of this we can determine the presence of antibodies, right? We have discussed this point in the earlier lecture in the structure, that the viral proteins will contain the hemagglutinin antigen will be produced, the that will be responsible for producing HI antibodies. What is HI antibodies? Hemagglutinin inhibiting antibodies. Those HI antibodies can be determined using this HI test, HI titer test. Similarly, neutralizing antigen will be responsible for development of neutralizing antibody. Okay, CF test will be for complement fixing antigens, and the ELISA we can use to determine antigens. Okay, ELISA we can use to determine antigens that are present with the antibody incorporated with the whales. Right, these are the serological tests, and this can cross react with the flaviviruses, with the various strains of the flavivirus. The cross reactivity can be there. Okay, this is the laboratory diagnosis, okay, for the animal. Now in cases of the animals only, there is no effective treatment that is available. What means? The medications are not available, the drugs are not there. Okay, supportive care is also available, which include the antipyretics, okay, anticonvulsants, maintenance of nutrition, treatment of secondary bacterial infection. This treatment we can give to the infected animals, right? We can give the dosages of the antipyretics drugs, anticonvulsants drug, okay, that will reduce down the activity, that will normalize the horse activities. Okay, then maintenance of nutrition, we should maintain the proper nutrition to the horses on the daily basis, right? Then we can control the treatment, we can control the hygiene, we can maintain the sanitization practices, so that the secondary bacterial infection should not happen with them. All right, this is the treatment for the animals. Okay, now we will see the JE in the men. We have studied the JE in animals and swines. Okay, now we are studying JE in men. Okay, so the incubation period will be 5 to 15 days. Okay, and only, now look, in this point is very important, only 1 in 300 to 1 in 1000 infections developed into encephalitis. Rest are asymptomatic infections. See, as I mentioned, the rate of the causing this infection in the men is very low. All right, as compared to the animal, men will not easily get this infection, this virus. Okay, now if the infection is there, symptomatic infection is there, then course of disease will be for 3 stages, divided into the 3: prodromal, acute, and the late. Prodromal stage, initial stage, will include the general symptoms such as the fever, headache, malaise. Okay, and it will remain for 1 to 6 days. Next, acute encephalitic stage. In that, fever will rise up to the 38 to 47 degrees Celsius, 40.7 degrees Celsius. Then neutral rigidity, focal CNS signs, convulsions, right? And altered sensorium progressing in many cases to coma. Now there will be the acute stage, right? After prodromal, the infection will start spreading. Now that will resulting into this affective neurological symptoms. Then that can get till the reach up to the coma stage. All right. Now the third one, that is the late stage or the and the sequel. In that also, temperature and the ESR touch normal. Temperature will be normal. Okay. And neurological conditions or the signs become stationary. So in this, symptoms will be reduced down, will be lowered. Okay. In the men, in the humans, right? Now we will see the laboratory diagnosis in the humans. First, which step is there? We have to collect specimen. Sample specimen can be blood, right? Can be blood, can be CSF, can be brain tissue sample. Okay. Then similar way, we can perform the antibody detection test. That will include the determination of the antibody titer for HI antibodies, right? Then the IF, immunofluorescence antibodies, complement fixation antibodies, and the ELISA test. Okay. The JE specific IgM, that is the IgM antibodies, will be very specific for the virus. That can be determined via the CSF sample or the serum of the infected human. Alright. Then in the definitive diagnosis, see why they are calling it as the definitive diagnosis and the tentative diagnosis, because via this tentative diagnosis we are just checking the presence, right? If the test will come positive, then we can suspect the presence of the virus in the sample. Now if we do the isolation of that virus, okay, if we have subcultured that virus on a tissue cultures on a continuous cell line, we grow that virus and then we got the positive reactions, then we can say that confirm the virus is present, okay, and the infection is due to this JE virus, right? And therefore the virus isolation will be with the CSF sample, the brain tissue sample. All right, that is called as the definitive diagnosis. Okay. Then similar way, just like the animal, in the humans also there is the no specific treatment is available for now. We can take the supportive cares, right? The supportive medications that we used to take. There are drugs available that are responsible for lowering down the neurological conditions, lowering the fevers, right? The paracetamol. That supportive care we can take. We can maintain our nutritional food, okay? We can maintain the hygiene, we can maintain sanitization practices so that any secondary infections will not be happen. This we can take the secondary supportive cares. This is about the diagnosis in the men. Okay. Now we will study the prophylaxis or the preventions. Okay. Now in this also we have two stages: stationary prophylaxis and the medical prophylaxis. All right. Now in the stationary prophylaxis, what is including in the stationary prophylaxis? The housing of the animals indoors in screened stabling can provide protection from the mosquitoes. Okay, this will include the primary care or the primary protection that we can take. So this include the housing of the indoor animals. All right, then especially during the active outbreaks of this virus, JE virus, and during the peak vector activity. So at that stages the stationary prophylaxis can be inculminate. Then insecticides, repellents and fans also provide protection, okay, which will not allow the mosquitoes to bite. That will basically the stationary prophylaxis, right? We will use the repellent, we will use insecticide, we will, right, that will provide protection against that mosquito bites. Okay, then the vector control reduces the transmission, right? As I mentioned, they will not allow the mosquito to bite, therefore there will be reduced transmission of this virus, right? Now in affected villages, the aerial or the ground fogging of the insecticides must be applied. Okay, then spraying should cover vegetation around houses, breeding sites and the animal shelters. These are the sites where there are higher chances for the transmission of this virus, right? Therefore there should be, the insecticide should be applied to those sites, which are those the houses, breeding sites of the animals and the animal shelters where animal stays. This is for affected villages. In the unaffected villages, okay, now who are the unaffected? Who can, those are present within the 2 to 3 kilometer radius of the infected villages nearby. Okay, so they should also receive the insecticide spraying as a preventive measure, right? So they will get a surety for prevention. They will produce the barrier for that mosquitoes, so that there will be no transmission of this virus, right? Because our virus is transmitting via vectors, mosquito borne vectors. Okay, then use of the mosquito nets should be advocated. We can also use the mosquito nets, right? That will also reduce the transmission of mosquitoes. This is stationary prophylaxis. Okay, stationary prophylaxis at the primary level. In the generalized level, what preventions, what measures we should take, it will include that, right? We have saw in the both the areas, in affected, in the unaffected. Even in the unaffected areas, it should get the insecticide spraying, okay, so that they will get the protection against that mosquito. Okay, now second is the medical prophylaxis. Now in this medical prophylaxis there will be coming the vaccinations. Okay, vaccination of the swines and the horses. Now vaccine that are available are live vaccine or the live attenuated, live inactivated vaccines. Okay, now vaccination, what will result? It will result in the immunity, right? It will give the immunity to the swines and the animals against this pathogen, against this virus, right? Then it will protect the animal, it will reduces the amplification. Okay, it will ensure the healthy litters, and it will decrease the likelihood of the aspermia. Okay. Vaccines also protect the horses from clinical disease and the possible sequel. Okay. Then the vaccination of human beings. This is vaccination of animals. Vaccines that are available for animals are live vaccines or inactivated vaccines. Okay. Live attenuated vaccine, that is. Now in case of the human beings vaccination, currently there are 3 types of this JE vaccines available, okay, which we used in the large scale. Those are mouse brain derived, purified and inactivated vaccine. Okay. First vaccine is the prepared from mouse brain, which is in very purified and the inactivated form. Second, cell culture vaccine. Cell cultured vaccine, again inactivated form. And third one, again cell cultured, which is a live attenuated vaccine. Okay. Now you can see they have mentioned the strain of the virus, which strain is present in the specific vaccines. Okay. So these vaccines are available. These are the vaccination available for the human beings. Okay. Now including this 2 prophylaxis, stationary and medical prophylaxis, we also have 2 more options for the prevention. One is the agricultural practices. Now what will come under the agricultural practices? Now we know the mosquito will lay down their eggs, infected one, in the fishery ponds, right, in the water. So we have to manage water practices, right? Then we have to use the fertilizers, the insecticides properly in the agricultural fields, so that there will be no multiplication of the mosquitoes, or there will be no transmission of these vectors, right, into the agricultural land. Okay. Then fourth one will be the animal reservoir control. Now what will be in the animal reservoir control? We can say by vaccinating the animals, okay, or the, now who is the reservoir? The pigs are the reservoirs, right? They are amplifiers. Okay. The birds can act as the reservoir. So by vaccinating, we can control in some amount the population or the infection, but it is not very much effective. Okay. And especially in the India, it is very unlikely to be possible, because there is no centralized pig rearing in India. Therefore, all pig practices should be undertaken at least 5 kilometers away from human habitations. Okay. So there should be the separate pig husbandry. Okay. So there will be no contact between the, the pigs and the humans, or the pigs and the different various animal habitat. All right. There will be separate pig husbandry, and in that also we should vaccinate them. We should maintain the proper hygiene there. Okay. So that the virus will not get entered into that pigs and amplify themselves. Okay. These are the 2 ways that are also can be applied, okay, to prevent or to avoid this infection. So in this lecture we have studied the prophylaxis. Okay, then we have studied the JE in swine, JE in birds, and JE in men. Okay, then we have saw the epidemiology. Okay, laboratory diagnosis. We have also studied the clinical features, right? The syndromes manifestations we have studied. I hope you understood this online lecture. If you have any doubt regarding this, please ask in the comment section. Thank you for watching.